Hey guys, I've been creating a lot of different videos nowadays to put out on this channel, and I faced one regular problem. A lot of times when I'm creating a stock shot and I'm using a phone to take around and record that, there is a lot of time that there is shaky footage. Now I generally use this particular template that I would want to share with you so that you can avoid having shaky footages on your Instagram or YouTube channels as well. So go ahead, look at this video and tell me what you think about it. So I have this particular video which is of two trekkers moving on the mountain, and you can see how shaky this is. Let me just play this without audio. See how this is shaking a lot. Now what I want to do is I want to get this footage replaced, and I know it's in 4K, so I would be able to use this in a slightly closer frame of probably HD format once I'm done stabilizing. Now to stabilize this, I'd want to do this. I want to go to Windows, go to FX, and FX come right over here. Let's put this effect called Warp Stabilizer. Once I put this over here, this will take a little while. Depending on the duration of the video, it might take slightly longer. But in that meantime, let me just quickly tell you about the settings over here. You can of course see what the how much is done and what's pending. You can see that 25% of it is done right now. So you can have stabilization in terms of different varieties. So you can have a smooth motion or a no motion sort of smoothness. So you'll see no motion that is happening over here of the footage entirely. Then there are a couple of different variations of position, scale, position and rotation, perspective, and subspace warp. Subspace warp is the one that gets the most done for the minimum amount of effort. So we'll stick with this for now. And there we have it. We have subspace warp done. Now you can see over here, to avoid extreme cropping, set framing to stabilize only. Well, okay. So we have this stabilize only. Let's see this now. You can see that because we have made sure that there is no motion, that's why the stabilization has occurred in such a way that there is a nice stabilization that's happening. You can see that these two guys are now moving correctly with not too much motion. But if I change this to smooth motion, let it stabilize for a moment, and then you'll see that this stabilization is actually way better. Now let's do this. Let's remove stabilize and synthesize as is, which it will create something on these sides, which is it's synthesizing, so it can fill up those blank spaces. So once this is done, you can see that there are certain blank spaces over here, but let's see how we can avoid those later as well. So here we go, and if I just hit play, so because we have stabilized only, you can see that these black frames are still there. There is a movement which is happening, but there's nothing on the borders, and for that we have this right over here. So instead of stabilize only, let's reset it and add it to stabilize, crop, and auto scale. So you can see what's happening. It is scaling automatically, it's cropping wherever is necessary, and ultimately stabilizing the footage. So if I do this, see that this motion is way more stable than what we had initially started off from. You can also see that auto scale has been set at 117.1%. You can also change it. You can set a action safe margin if you have a specific region, or you can have a maximum scale for the entire thing as well. So if you want, you can probably just change this to a shorter size. But nonetheless, once this is done, I'd want to do this. I'd want to create a new sequence in which I will end up adding this particular sequence, and then I can save it for use. So here I go. Now this is the one. If I just drag this over here, keep existing settings, and there we have a way better frame. You can see that this has been stabilized, and that's why these guys, they look way better. Now what I can also do is I can scale this little bit smaller and probably place it somewhere around there as well. And that is how I can use this particular footage for further use. You can see that there is some sort of warping that's happening. That is the effect of the stabilization that's happening over here because of subspace warp, right? There's another variation. Let's try perspective and see what works for us. So there we go. This has been stabilized, and let's see if that is as effective. Somewhat, I can see that there is no warping, at least in the initial moments of time. There is some warping that happens towards the end over here. Again, which is okay, I can play around with it. Now, this will work very well if I have certain videos like this also, where we have small jerks coming in the middle of the video. So I have this particular video and I had added a marker somewhere over here so that I can find that there is some sort of a disturbance that happens to the camera. So you can see that this is a video that I have, and somewhere around this part is where there is some sort of a shaking that happens. And for this, I have just stabilized it normally, no specific, no change in the sort of settings over here. And then again, when we see this video, way smoother, isn't it? We don't even recognize that there was a shake that had happened at that point in time. So again, warp stabilizer works great in all these settings. Why don't you go ahead and try it? Hey, I hope this was not too difficult. So why not you go ahead and try all of your stock footages that you have been recording, put it out in your Premiere Pro, and then apply warp stabilizer. Make sure that you get all your footages over here so that your viewers, they don't have to keep on looking like that to focus on the subject. I will see you in another video. Thank you and bye-bye.